Brendan, last night was maybe one of the craziest games that I've ever witnessed in person. I've seen some crazy games, but I've never been a part of one like last night. And it all started with Trevor Rogers getting his second start of the year. Lots of anticipation and I guess anticipation because of what he did in Boston. Started off great. Not so much down the stretch.
Yeah, that was a really weird start for Trevor Rogers. As you mentioned, Rob, the first inning, he looks really, really good. The fastball's up around 95 miles an hour. He throws 19 pitches in that inning. 15 of them are strikes. As you mentioned, that's exactly what he was doing against the Red Sox a few weeks ago. And then in the second inning, the Orioles score 8 runs. You think that's great for a starting pitcher, but he's in the dugout for such a long time, waiting to come back out, and he just didn't look like the same guy in that second inning. He doesn't have as sharp a command. The fastball velocity is dipped down a little bit. So it's a hard outing to evaluate because he looked so good in that first inning. He said he felt pretty good physically, but obviously the outcome not what he wanted.
You see this a lot from young pitchers, and I know Trevor's been around for a while, but it seemed like he didn't know what to do when he got 2 strikes on the batter. He seemed to nibble a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, and that's what he said last night. He was just being a little bit too fine with it. He was trying to make the perfect pitch, when in reality, he's got an 8-run lead. Put the ball in the strike zone, attack the strike zone, and you've got more room for error than you typically do.
Takes 8 home runs to solo home runs to make up that lead. You know, bullpen in the month of June has been sensational. The last night was an example of how sensational that bullpen has been.
Yeah, I mean, they were great. They were the second best bullpen in baseball for the month of June up until last night. Yeah. The 7 primary guys in the bullpen had covered almost 47 innings and allowed just 4 earned runs. And last night, those 7 primary guys combined to allow 8. It's just one of those nights, and unfortunately, all of the bullpen arms seem to have an off night at the same time. You would have loved a little bit more length out of Trevor Rogers, but you saw a bad outing from Yennier Cano, which is uncharacteristic. Andrew Kittredge, who has been outstanding all season long, he gave up 4 runs as well. So for a bullpen that has been the strength of this team for the last few weeks, just really strange to see them all scuffle at once, and you felt the momentum try to go. And it seems like everybody was trying to be the guy to be that stopper, and just nobody was able to stop the snowball effect.
Look at those numbers. Oh, my goodness. 4 runs by Yennier Cano, that doesn't happen. Andrew Kittredge, 4 runs on an inning, that doesn't happen.
Right.
And that's what I want to lead to next, Brendan, because when you have a game and there's a meltdown, one person or one pitcher has a meltdown, it's easy to single that out. But last night it seemed that as far as that mound is concerned, everything that could go wrong went wrong. So how did the Orioles turn the page and get ready for a Thursday night baseball game?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? And I think early on in this season, it happened a little bit too often where the bleeding just bled into more games after that. You think back to the big blowout loss against the Cincinnati Reds. They lose 5 of their next 6 there. But a few weeks ago, you have the big loss to the Boston Red Sox, and you win 3 of your next 4. Yeah. So they need to do more of that. Cedric Mullins said last night, you kind of just got to flush this one. And this is a harder one to flush than a typical loss just because of the fashion in which you lost last night. But I think the Orioles, over the past few weeks, they've been playing better baseball. There's a confidence in this group. They feel like they can get back to 500, can get back in this race. So I think there's a confidence in this clubhouse that it's not going to bleed over into another night here.
They've been playing .680 baseball in the last 20-plus games. They need to be more of that than they were last night is basically what you're saying. Yeah. Remember that team.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the team that they are capable of being. Guys are healthy. They're swinging the bat better. For the most part, the bullpen has been really good, and the starting pitching has been better. So they're able to do this. They've just got to put it all together and flush a tough loss last night.
Yes, absolutely. So bullpen's good. Be good overall is what you're saying?
I think you have to look at the bullpen for what it's been over the past few weeks rather than one night specifically. These are a bunch of good arms, and yeah, they had an off night, and yeah, it unfortunately happened kind of at the same time last night, but they've been really good for weeks, and I think you have to look at that track record.
You definitely do. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Rob.
Appreciate it.